So today we're going to go over angles and triangles. Okay, so we kind of already have gone over some things with our angles within our triangles. So this first one we've already kind of discussed. So our triangle angle sum theorem says the sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180. Okay, so I can add A plus B plus C, and they should add to be 180 degrees. Okay, so if I have two of my angles already, I can add those together and then subtract from 180 to get that third one. Okay, so we're going to do two examples here. Okay, this first one. In triangle ABC, I have two of my angles. I'm missing angle 1 right here. Okay, so to get that angle measure, I can take 180 and subtract the two angles I already know. Okay, so in that case, this case it would be 90 and 58. Okay, once I do that, I get 32 degrees. Now, angle 1 and angle 2 are what type of angles?
Vertical.
They are vertical angles, meaning they are going to be congruent. So angle 2 is also 32 degrees. Now, in triangle CDE, I now have both of these angles, so I can find this third one by again taking 180 and subtracting the two that I know already. So 180 minus 108 minus 32. Okay, and then off to the side here, I'm just going to write it out so it looks a little bit nicer. So I got the measure of angle 1 to equal 32 degrees. The measure of angle 2 to also equal 32 degrees. And the measure of angle 3 is 40. Okay, just to make it look a little bit nicer for you. Questions on the first one? All right, second one here. In triangle QSR, I have these arc marks within my angle. What does that mean? They're congruent. So since angle Q is 30, angle R must also be 30. Okay, now that I know two of my angles within my triangle, I can find that last one there. So I'm going to take 180 and subtract the two angles I know.
Uh, 120.
Yes. So the measure of angle 1 is 120 degrees.
Exterior angle 3.
Okay? That all coming back to you. All three of your angles have to add to 180. Okay? Don't just take two of them. Okay, you need all three to add to 180. So our next theorem we have here is the exterior angle theorem. So that states the measure of an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the measures of the two remote interior angles. Okay? So if I look at my picture here, angle 1 is your exterior angle. Okay, it's on the outside, hence exterior. It's outside your triangle. To get the measure of angle 1, I can take angle B and I can add angle A to it. Okay, so I'm adding these two angles. Those are your remote interior angles. They are remote because they're not the one right next to your exterior angle. Okay, so you cannot add the angle that is right next to that exterior. You have to add the two that are across from it. Okay, and that will give you that exterior angle. So measure of angle A plus measure of angle B gives you the measure of angle 1. Okay, so we're going to do some examples of this. So we want to find the measure of each numbered angle. In this one, I just want to find the measure of angle 1. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to find this one by taking my two remote interiors, which are 65 and 50, and adding them together. So the measure of angle 1 is 115 degrees. Okay? Number 4. I have to find angle 1 and angle 2. Well, to find angle 1, again, that's an exterior angle, and I have my two remote interiors. So I can add 25 plus 35, that's 60, to get 1. Now to get 2, you could do two different things to get angle 2. Since you have this triangle here, you can take 180 and subtract the 2 that you already know to get that one. Okay? Or since 1 and 2 make a straight line, you can take 180 and subtract angle 1, which is 60. Okay, and that will equal 120. So we found the measure of angle 1 is 60, and the measure of angle 2 is 120 degrees. Okay, questions on those two?
No, ma'am.
Okay, number 5. In number 5, we're given parallel lines. Okay, we just went over parallel lines in the last chapter. Okay, so if NM is parallel to OP and ON is parallel to PM, right? This would be your transversal. So what would angle 1 have to be? 60. Okay? Those are alternate interior angles. So angle 1 has to be 60. And 2 would also have to be 60 because those are alternate interior angles. Okay, so now that I have 1 and 2, how do I find 3 if it's exterior? Add them together. 60 plus 60 is 120. So again, measure of angle 1, 60 degrees. Measure of angle 2, 60 degrees. Measure of angle 3, 120 degrees. Any questions on your exterior angle theorem? That's the one most people get mixed up on. All right, so we have some corollaries at the bottom here. So this first one states the acute angles of a right triangle are complementary. What does complementary mean? They add to 90. Okay? So if you have this right triangle here, your acute angles would be A and B. So if I were to take the measure of angle A and add the measure of angle B, they should equal 90 because they're complementary. Okay? That second one, there can be at most one right or obtuse angle in a triangle. Okay, you can't have two right angles. If I had two right angles, it wouldn't make a triangle. If I had two obtuse angles, again, would not make a triangle. Okay, so you can only have one, either of a right angle or an obtuse angle. Questions on those? Okay. On the back, this first one, we want to find the measure of angle 2. Okay, angle 2 is right here. In my picture, I'm given my exterior angle and one of my remote interior angles. And I need to find the other remote interior angle. So we're using that exterior angle theorem. Okay? So to find one of my remote interiors, what could I do?
Subtract 71 from 92 because 2 plus 71 would equal 92.
Good job.
Wow.
I can take my exterior and subtract one of my remote interiors to get the other remote interior, which is 21. So the measure of angle 2 will equal 21 degrees. All right, you guys do this one. Find the measure of angle 4. All right, so this one is the same thing as this first one here where we find the measure of angle 2. Angle 4 is a remote interior. This angle is 90. So you can take 123, subtract 90 to get 33. So the measure of angle 4 should have been 33 degrees. Okay, questions? All right, the next two are a little bit different. So again, we still have an exterior and we still have these remote interiors. You're going to have to find x and then you're going to have to plug it in. So we want to find the measure of angle A, B, C. So that's this angle right here. Okay, in order to find the measure of that angle, I need to solve for x. Well, I know I can add together my two remote interiors to get my exterior. So that's how I'm going to set up my equation. So I can take 2x minus 15, which is angle A, add on x minus 5, which is angle B, and that should equal your exterior of 148. Okay, so you're adding those two remote interiors together. Okay, I just want to combine like terms here then. So I have 3x minus 20 equals 148. Add 20 to both sides. X will equal 56. Okay, now I still want to find the measure of this angle right here, ABC. So I need to plug in 56 for that x value. Okay, so I'll have 56 minus 5 to get 51. Okay, so the measure of angle ABC will be 51 degrees. Questions on how I set that problem up? All right, then I want you guys to do that next one there. Find the measure of angle JKL.
What you doing?
You have to solve for the angle, just to make sure. I'm not. Maybe for the one that's a right triangle, but. Oh, yes. You're always the one. I thought you meant like. No. Yep. They're not going to equal when you're doing at the sides, not the angles of the triangle.
I was right.
You were right. I knew you were right. All right, so for this one, you should have added these two angles together. So 2x plus 27 plus 2x minus 11, and set that equal to your exterior. Once you solve, you should get x is 21. You would want to plug 21 in for x because this is the angle you're solving for here. Okay, and you should get the measure of angle JKL is equal to 31 degrees. Okay, questions on that problem there? Okay, in this next section, we want to classify the triangle by its angles. So first, what I want to do is solve for the angle measures and solve for x. Okay, so for this first triangle, I know all three of my angles have to add to 180. So I'm going to add up all three of those equations and set it equal to 180 so I can find x. So I have 6x plus 5 plus 15, x plus 1 plus 4x minus 1 is equal to 180. Okay, so I have 6x, 15x, and 4x. That is 25x. Yes. I have 5 plus 1 and minus 1. Those ones will cancel. Okay, subtract 5. So I have 25x equals 175.
Wait, subtract. Okay.
So x will be 7. So now I can plug 7 in for x for all of my angles here. So I have 7 times 4 minus 1, 27. I have 6 times 7 plus 5.
47.
And I have 15 times 7 plus 1. That's 106. Now since I do have one angle that is greater than 90, this would be an obtuse triangle.
7 times 4. Isn't that 28?
Minus 1.
Yeah, isn't 7 times 6 42?
Yeah. Plus 5.
Plus 5, 49.
No,
47.
47.
That's what.
5 plus 2.
Okay, questions on this one? All right.
Wait, it equals 20.
What? Yeah, if you add them all together, they should equal 180. Because you're classifying by its angles, so you just have to look at the angle measures. Since one of your angles is greater than 90, it has to be an obtuse triangle. All right, then I just want to do one more. I want to do this one right here. Okay, so again, I'm trying to classify this triangle by its angles. So first I need to solve for x so I know what these two angles are. Well, since I'm given the exterior here, I need to add together my two remote interiors and set it equal to that exterior. Okay, so I can add together 37 and 3x plus 47. So those are your two remote interior angles. Now that should equal your one exterior angle, which is 5x plus 62. Okay, so from here, I want to combine like terms and solve for x. So I have 37 and 47. That's 84. Okay, I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. And then subtract 62 from both sides. X will be 11. Okay, now I want to plug that 11 in for x, so I know what these angle measures are. So I have 3 times 11 is 33, plus 47 is 80. I'm going to plug 11 in for x here. Okay, I don't need to do it this way, but that's the way I'm going to do it. So I have 5 times 11 is 55, plus 62 is 117. Now that's your exterior angle. You need this interior angle to classify. So you're going to take 180 minus 117, and it is 63. No?
Why?
Because I just said no. So since all three of these angles are less than 90, this would be an acute triangle. Okay, any questions on our